Explorers have always sought out the extremes on Earth. They seek that which has never been done, whether to climb the tallest mountain or to walk where no man has ever been before. Expeditions are my way of life. In 1979, I led the very first journey to circumnavigate Earth through both poles. It was a grueling expedition which took 3 years to accomplish and 7 years to plan. I've been doing expeditions for over 30 years, starting in the British Army. That was where I first met the Land Rover. The Land Rover has been around for 50 years. From its humble beginnings, conceived to save the Rover Car Company in post-war Britain, to world leader in the field it created. These pioneers played a major role in the early days of the company. Tom Barton, designer of the original Land Rover, Spen King, father of the Range Rover, Geoff Miller, development engineer, and Roger Craithorne, demonstration manager, span 50 years' experience designing and developing Land Rovers. They remember creating the first civilian off-road vehicle, the variations, the expeditions, innovations, and new products. They've returned to the home of Land Rover in Solihull, England, to reminisce, witness the transformation of their visions, and to look into the future. The story begins with a family named Wilks. At the end of the war, Stephen Wilks was a youngster, spending the summers with his family on the island of Anglesey in Wales. His father Maurice and uncle Spencer Wilks were in the car business.
My uncle Spen was the chairman of Rover for many years. He was really instrumental, obviously, in my father actually even being employed there at all. My father, I wouldn't describe my father as a businessman. Not really. He was much more of a solving technical problems, that type of thing. A man who was full of interest. There was always this sort of child there. He would be onto one thing and then it would be onto another thing. He always loved making things. He had an automatic mowing machine. Consisted of a piece of plywood about 4 foot by 3 foot. Then there was a motor vehicle back axle that would drive these wheels. Then the mower would go around on a string, and as it went round, of course, it would make the trolley move along.
But there was another side to this carefree family life. The year was 1947, and the Wilks brothers were struggling to keep the Rover Car Company afloat. Economic conditions after the war were bleak. The automobile industry was particularly hard hit. Steel was in short supply and given only to companies with products to export. That same year, England suffered the worst winter in decades. But it set the stage for Maurice Wilks to develop an idea for a new product that would change the course of history for the Rover Car Company.
There was a lot of snow, as I recall, and a great storm that followed after that, and floods. And the storm blew down lots of trees down the drive, so access to the house, well, you couldn't get there with a motor vehicle. And so it was important to my dad to be able to clear these trees as quickly as possible. He started using Rover cars to pull these trees and things out of the way. and found that it wasn't the right type of vehicle for that. Being into government surplus equipment, he managed to buy a surplus Bren gun carrier, which is a tracked vehicle. It's a bit like a tank, but a very small one.
Morris saw the practicality of the Bren gun carrier, but he also realised its obvious limitations. A neighbour, Colonel Nash, owned something which intrigued him even more, a military surplus Willis Jeep.
My dad had said to this Colonel Nash, he said, well, how about us doing a trade? You take my Bren gun carrier and I'll have your Willis Jeep.
He found numerous uses for the Jeep. But, more importantly, it gave him an idea which might save the company. Stephen's brother, Patrick, remembers the events of that summer.
There's a story my mother tells about when my father came down here with her one day, and my uncle's boat came in there, and he came over in a dinghy, and my father and my uncle sat down on the sand somewhere here, and they drew in the sand like this, and they were drawing a picture of the First